the legendary The Don, and salamat. Kanina, I asked you a question, di ba? Who is your favorite, ganito na lang, para fair. Kasi, for example, senator, it could be a junior or senior. So, who is your favorite senior senator now?
Senior senator? Well, let's exclude my dad, no? Because I'm biased in that respect. But I think, well, at present, I think Senator Santiago is quite impressive. I think, in terms of scope of knowledge, I think Senator Enrile, despite his present circumstances, I think most people will tell you he's very intellectually. I think he's one of the very gifted ones. Well, of course, in past senators, you have Senator Salonga, brilliant guy. Senator Lorenzo Tañada, who was one of the first Filipinos to be sent to Harvard, I think, to take up a Master's of Law. I mean, you hear these names and you talagang Senator Recto. The present Senator Recto is also very impressive with his grasp of economic matters.
Who would you want to debate among those senators? Yung mga galing.
Hindi ko nasasabihin yung present kasi baka they might engage me in more debate as a result. No?
Di ba si Senator Miriam parang, di ba, hinamon ka ba niya before? Or may sinabi lang siya?
But she endorsed me actually when I asked for her endorsement and she most willingly gave it when I asked for it during the campaign. I think it was a big boost because she appeals to a very young demographic.
You know what? I'm a social media guy, and that's what I do professionally in TV5 and News5. Yeah. I had the online video content and of course social media stuff. Alam mo, very very revealing na si Senator Miriam Santiago, yung isa sa pinakamalakas na senators online.
I think she has 2 million followers in her Facebook.
Yeah.
I was told. Yeah.
And then not only that, I mean, there's just this magic that she's able to connect to the youth.
She's a rock star ng Senado in a sense. No?
Yeah.
She's larger than life. I think she's larger than life, and she says things that many of us censor or afraid to say.
In fact, if you do an online poll, who they want to be president, hands down, Senator Miriam will win online.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. She has that, as I said, the larger than life persona. And
all right. So, sino yung idedebate mo na dating senador?
Well, Salonga would be one because he was a bar top notcher. Went to both Harvard and Yale.
And what would you want to?
And he was a preacher. You know, many people don't know that he was a. So he would quote from the Bible. Talagang yung sources niya, not only the Constitution but also the Bible.
And he was anti-American, right?
Was he anti-American?
Anti-basis.
Anti-basis. Yeah, he led the charge for.
Are you anti or pro?
Well, we don't have basis anymore, Martin. So,
if ever.
But if
ever, would you?
Maybe not basis, but I think that relationship is still worth pursuing. There's a lot of. I mean, considering how many Filipinos we have in the States, I think,
So for the sake of debate, you debate him on that.
On the basis?
For the sake of debate lang.
Well, that'd be an interesting one.
All right. Okay. Who is your favorite Filipino president? And why?
Well, I'm biased, Martin, because for Quezon, because Quezon is a Baler boy. He grew up in Baler, so and we're somehow related distantly to his wife. So I think, but you read about him too, and he's very impressive. They not only the intellect, but also the charisma and the speaking prowess. And so I think Quezon, it would have to be Quezon. Yeah.
What are your ideologies or principles or your take on certain industries in our country or ideology? Okay, let's talk about what is your stand on the economy? What ideology do you have on the economy?
Well, Martin, I'd probably be what you call maybe in Europe as a social democrat, something like that.
What is it?
Which is someone who well, in Europe you tend to be more social welfare. You're for the social welfare state. A lot of government spending on social services.
A lot of dole-outs?
Not necessarily dole-outs, but things like healthcare, for example. Some people might say that's a dole-out, but a country like the Scandinavian or Nordic countries, I think that's a model that's worth emulating. Of course, that's going to cost money.
Yes. Kasi doon, alam ko, I studied in Australia, and it's a welfare country. It's patterned after these Scandinavian countries. And what fascinates me is really the healthcare for those 60 and above, but over 60. Parang dito ata. I think they're fighting for that already, for PhilHealth.
We passed a bill. The Senate just passed a bill. To give free healthcare to all seniors, because dati you have to be indigent to get the full package from PhilHealth, which is our health insurance provider. But now we're pushing for full. So in the sense, we're moving towards that model. But now it's interesting you mentioned Australia, Martin, kasi Australia, iilan lang ang tao dyan. Tapos ang yaman nila. Diba?
Sobra.
So that's I guess you have to tailor also. It's our aspiration, but then we have to make sure we have enough money for that.
I'm a 40-year-old broadcaster, and one healthcare insurance manager approached me and was talking about healthcare, etc. So I asked her, sabi ko, paano yan? Hanggang ilang taon lang? So parang may nabanggit siya na after 60, you can get the money if you don't spend it, etc. And then wala nang coverage. They don't accept investments. They call investments, 60 over. Na parang
it's too risky for them.
Pwede, I mean, ano ba yun? Can we do something about that para mabago yung
legally,
batas?
that sounds wrong that they don't accept. Yeah. They can raise the premiums and make it more expensive, but parang it seems unfair.
Parang ganun lahat eh.
Talaga. We can take a look at that. And
ang sabi niya, the only company that gives insurance to people who are 60 and above is Blue Cross in the United States. Syempre, wala naman Blue Cross dito, di ba? So, paano na lang yung mga tulad, di ba, kawawa yung matanda talaga sa bansa natin, di ba? Alright, ano naman ang, what is your stand on education?
Well, I'm a known education advocate. My father was a known education advocate. So I think, ang model ko naman dyan, yung Great Britain.
Okay.
Although they're moving in a different direction now. But I think that's why my father sent all 4 of us kids to the UK, because he felt that it was a good model for education. Not too expensive at the time, although now it's a little more expensive. But heavily state subsidized. And the best universities, like the University of London, for example, is a public school, what they would call a public school here. Whereas ang model is slightly different from the US, where many of the outstanding, the Ivy Leagues, etc., which you went to, like Harvard, Georgetown, a lot of them are private. But dun sa UK, karamihan public.
Sa ano naman, what is your stand on our claim dyan sa may Spratlys at claim natin sa Sabah?
Claim to Sabah, well, that's a tricky one because given what where we went after Ramos, that's going to be put on hold for a while because if we want to keep, especially because of the Malaysian role with the Bangsamoro piece. Yeah, it's not wise to bring it up at the present.
Do you think it's ours?
I'll have to go back to the history books to get a firm grip on that one, Martin. On the Spratlys, well, I think that we should explore common exploration. I mean, it's better than just fighting it out, fighting a losing war. Of course, which is not to say we shouldn't strengthen our military as we're doing at present. But definitely, we should explore common avenues.
Okay, let's talk about OFWs, no? Parang parami OFW. So, to me, as a ordinary guy, kung parami OFW, ibig sabihin, pakonti yung trabaho natin sa bansa natin, and we're not really producing work. What is your stand on this issue?
Let me just say, Martin, that we are producing work, but not at a rate fast enough to grow with the workforce. You graduate about 1 million students every year. And there's not enough. There's only about maybe 600,000 jobs every year. So you really have to. The government has to do its part, but job creation is a joint thing between the private sector and government. We all have to do our part. But the government is the enabler. It has to build the infrastructure. You can't. I mean, BPOs is number one job creators, so to speak. But how many people have seen a BPO there's no BPO in Aurora because there's no infrastructure for communications. Those kinds of things, the government can accelerate those things if it chooses to do so.
Federalism. Do you believe some quarters are saying na dapat federal government tayo. We should have our own senators in Mindanao, Visayas and Luzon. We gotta have the right representation. What do you think about this?
Well, definitely I'm for greater representation for Visayas and Mindanao. But federalism, there's also a role for nationally elected officials. I think, given how geographically dispersed we are, so many dialects, talagang hati-hati na nga tayo eh. Not many people think of themselves as Filipinos. They think of themselves as Bisaya or Ilocano. That tribal Maranao, whatever, Badjao. But I think we have to work on giving greater powers, but at the same time trying to build up the nation, yung nation building. That's crucial.
All right. And I have a few more questions siguro, pero lighter questions na to, no. How do you raise your kids considering your very busy schedule as a senator, and you're only 42 years old? And you have a young family, no?
Yeah. It's a challenge. Time management. I think we're a dual income household, meaning my wife and I both work. So it is a challenge. I mean, we have to plan our lives. We have to make sure we take enough vacation, take enough weekends off.
Especially the traffic, no? So it really hampers everything,
terrible.
no?
The traffic is terrible. No? I mean, even not just for us, but pati sa mga bata. Nakikita ko, my son goes to the same school I went to in San Juan. And it used to take me I used to be home by 4:30, 5 o'clock. He's home at 6:30.
Oh nga pala, what's your solution on this traffic thing? What runs, kasi as a government official, as a senator, and you're there stuck in traffic, and obviously it affects your life not only as a professional, a government public servant, but also as a family man, no? Imbis sa 2 hours sa sayang, dapat 2 hours kasama yung mga anak mo.
Absolutely.
Anong solution mo?
It's not just one solution, but but the public transport system has to be improved.
Would you ride?
It has to be a combination. Not just we're putting all our marbles maybe in the MRT and the LRT, Martin, but we should also look at the bus transit. I think the bus transit is, and we have to look at how dysfunctional our system is. Jeepneys and buses stop wherever they want to stop, wherever the passenger wants them to stop. It may make me unpopular, but I don't think that should happen. I think we're the only country. If you go in Australia, in England, where I grew up, we rode the bus, and you walked the rest of the way. You know, it drops you off to your stop, and maybe you walk for 10 or 15 minutes to get to where you really want to go. But that's the way it should be. You don't tell the bus driver, "You take me here just when I want to go down."
Would you commute if we had an efficient train system or efficient transport bus system?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. Definitely. If it was safe, efficient, and
safe.
I wouldn't get to my destination sweaty and I'd be able to do work on the train, that kind of thing.
Diba?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mas
I
okay.
did. I mean, every day I took either the subway or the bus, the underground. So.
Right. I know that's every Filipino. Every Filipino's dream to have an efficient.
And part of it's a package, Martin. It's not one big battering ram to solve the problem. It's a bunch of solutions, and some of them also includes like maybe encouraging bike lanes, things like that. You know, encouraging people to walk. Also having covered walkways, so people don't get all sweaty. You know.
Great stuff, no. So hopefully, no. I mean, we're still dreaming and hopeful that things will be better in the future.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite color, Sonny?
I like green. Yeah.
What's your favorite Filipino meal?
Like sisig. It's bad for you.
Sarap,
I like tapsi.
Tapsi
is a
sarap. Are you a rice eater?
Yeah. Oh. Garlic rice. Yeah.
Sarap, no?
Yeah.
What is your favorite movie?
Godfather. It's a cliche. I know it's a cliche, but it just gets you every time you watch it.
What is your favorite movie, book?
I don't think I have one. There's always one for the month, I guess. You know.
Favorite quotation, saying.
Well, Pat Riley of the Lakers said that he'd rather get the player who works hard than the talented one. So that always says something to me.
That was when he was in the Lakers.
When he was with the Lakers. I'm a Celtics fan, by the way.
Thank you so much, Sonny. Oh, one more. Who are the 5 or maybe less? Who are the people you would thank at the end of the day?
For what?
For anything.
Who would I thank? My family, my parents, my wife. Thank God. If he's a person, he's kind of a person.
Thank my family. And what is your dream for for us, for the Filipino?
Dream is a better society, a better economy, better life for families, not everyone having to leave, not having this dysfunctional state where everyone's Skyping. And then, kawawa naman, diba? It really, whether you like it or not, it has an effect. I'd like to see us exporting products, Filipino-made, rather than exporting our people. I'd like us to see us a more nurturing society, I think. I'd like economists to look at the effect on individuals and families rather than just the country as a whole, because the country it's two countries really. The country of the rich, the country of the poor. So.
Can the ordinary Filipino tweet you, and will you answer them?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
He
does, and I do.
Okay, and where do we
at Sonny Angara? Yeah.
So diretso, diretso to the senator from Aurora. Okay, thank you so much, Sonny. Harana. We haven't played the song, right? Harana by Parokya ni Edgar. So what about Harana that you like?
Well, again, Parokya, that's another iconic or emblematic Filipino band.
Yes.
Harana is it's a dying art, no? Harana. So you could say that this
Inarana mo ba sa mo?
No. But you could say that maybe this is the last great Harana. So last great. It's of a great Filipino tradition. This is the latest or the best example of it.
Thank you so much, Sonny, Senator Sonny Angara. And I love your shirt, by the way.
Thanks.
That's I love that shirt. Love Bob Marley. That's Bob Marley, right?
That's right.
Bob Marley.
That's right. Don't ask me what he's smoking.
I know. Well, it looks like a cigarette.
Yeah, it looks like a cigarette.
Doesn't look like anything. Senator Sonny Angara, ladies and gentlemen, on podcast.Ph here in Martin's Mancave. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Martin. Thank you. It's been great.
And here is your song, Harana, by Parokya ni Edgar. Do catch this on SoundCloud. Just type podcast.Ph or go to podcast.Ph. Thank you so much.
This podcast.Ph presentation is supported by Martin Andanar's Homecast Studio and Audio.Ph.